It's a man movie.
Hey
Episode number, I don't know.
7? I don't know.
We haven't been counting. Well, today we watched a little bit more serious movie.
It feels like a drama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas most of most of the man movies we watch are over-the-top action movies.
Yeah. This one, I feel like, had a little bit more gravitas.
Yeah.
From 1972, this was the classic film Deliverance. These four guys are, I guess, middle class, big city guys.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds, John Voight, Ned Beatty, and Wally Cox, I think, is the other guy's name. They want to go on a canoe trip down some river, a fictional river in Georgia that is scheduled to be dammed up, and the river will become a giant dead lake, as Burt Reynolds describes it.
What the hell you want to go fuck around that river for? Because it's there.
Burt Reynolds wants his pals to experience the wildness of the river and kind of get away from the city for a weekend.
It's there, all right. You get in there and can't get out. You gonna wish it wouldn't.
Listen, Lewis, let's go back to town and play golf.
We get the idea that Burt Reynolds' character is sort of the leader of the group. He's kind of an adventurous guy, sort of an alpha male. You get the feeling that he drags them along on a lot of these adventure scheme ideas. And
everybody just goes along.
And everybody kind of
goes along for the
goes
ride.
along with it.
Yeah.
I think they like Lewis as his character.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of an over the top guy. He belongs in a man movie.
Did we beat that? You don't beat it. Don't beat this river.
They're driving through the hills, and they pull off at this lonely little gas station.
Say, mister, I love the way you wear that hat.
And right away, they run into some, I guess you'd call them hillbillies. I don't know if that's offensive to hill people.
I don't think anyone has sympathy for hillbillies, so...
Right.
You don't know nothing.
So right at the beginning, there's sort of you see like a culture clash. Where these guys are kind of slick, fast-talking, big city, maybe a little arrogant.
But there's a little bond and connection between, because that's when the Dueling Banjos thing happens.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a little connection, or at least it seems like, between the kid and at least the guy with the guitar.
Well, the song is called Dueling Banjos, and they're kind of dueling, but I feel like it's a friendly, jovial moment that they have between the two of them.
Until he tries to, at the end, go like, oh, a heck of a song there, kid. And the kid's just like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, the kid's either just a jerk or he has no social skills. Or
I think he's autistic or something.
Maybe autistic. They referred to these people as inbred, and it seemed like that could have been the case.
And let's face it, that kid was a mutant.
Most people, when they hear about Deliverance, if they've never seen the movie, they think about the banjo scene.
Yeah.
And then the other scene.
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to reveal it yet?
No, we can reveal it.
Oh, okay.
I thought we'd get right into it. There's a scene of gay penetrative rape between...
That's my favorite scene.
Yeah. Well, it's intense. And from 1972... you would think they would tone it down a little bit, but no, it's pretty graphic, psychologically disturbing. Like, you don't see any nudity, and I know you were disappointed with that.
Yeah.
But you do see very uncomfortable facial expressions.
Yeah.
And positioning.
Well, if you have a vivid imagination, as I do, you can imagine the rest just fine. You know?
Yeah.
Is that Bobby?
Yeah, Ned Beatty, who plays Bobby, sometimes called Chubby. He's the one who gets raped, But John Voight is tied to a tree.
Yeah, left
watching
over
it.
there all by his lonesome.
Yeah, like a wallflower at the dance.
Yeah, he's like, when's it my turn?
He's forced to watch, and I don't know if his face is uncomfortable or a feeling of rejection.
I know.
And I'm not a homosexual man myself, but I feel like
Oh, don't be modest.
I feel like even from a position of not understanding that attraction, I feel like I'd pick John Voight before I pick Ned Beatty.
Yeah.
I think that's the common. I mean, I know he had like a little mustache, which some people might be turned off by, but still, John Voight.
He's got a
those
nice jawline.
big Angelina Jolie lips.
Yeah.
He got a little pretty mouth, ain't he?
Burt Reynolds and Drew Cox, they catch up, see what's going on. Burt Reynolds shoots the one of the rapists through the back, through the heart.
Yeah.
Kills him. The other rapist runs off into the hills. And now we got the four main characters standing around a dead body debating what
do we do with the body?
What do we do next? And to me, that is the most interesting scene of the whole movie.
It's super interesting, yeah.
Because it seems so real. Like, the guys are doing a great job. The
and
actors...
the pacing of that scene was fucking incredible. Like, you could see the deliberation, and people... by then, you've established the archetypes of the characters, the personalities of the characters, and you can see how they're thinking about this in different ways. And... John Voight is the most interesting character in the movie.
He's a really good actor.
He's amazing. And the thing is, John Voight, at the beginning of the movie, he seems like, almost personality-less, sort of. Like, he doesn't really have a definite point of view. And that was the intention. After you watch the movie, you sort of realize this. That was the intention the entire time, is that, like, he's sort of flexible. They even put it on him, and it's debatable between him. Are we going to bury the body, or are we going to bring him to the police?
It's all up to you.
It's all up to you, John Voight.
And you're wrong if you don't think this is a game.
It's a game.
Oh, it's a game.
This ain't one of your fucking games!
You shot him. You killed him. And then he's like, that's right, I killed him.
That's right, I killed somebody. But you're wrong if you don't see this as a game.
I just like that line out of Burt Reynolds. Like, he doesn't give a fucking...
Yeah, Burt Reynolds, you'd think he killed like 50 guys before this.
Yeah, he really was not that fit. He looks like he was ready for an excuse to kill a man his entire life, and here it was. It presented itself in front of him, and he took advantage.
They bury the guy, and I think this was interesting too. They're all on their knees. They're scooping up mounds of dirt and grunting like gorillas. So you get to see, all right, you came out into the wilderness to go back to a primitive life and see what that's all about. Well, here you go. You're digging in the dirt like an animal, burying a human being that you just killed with an arrow.
Yeah. And they're trying to get out of there as quick as possible because they don't know where the other guys. They're just like, we got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, they want to get out of there. They don't want anybody to catch them, and they want to just get this whole ordeal over with. Mm-hmm. So
it's a mess.
It's a big mess.
It's a messy situation.
This becomes a violent cat and mouse game between the hill people and the city men.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the immature, silly jokes about gay anal rape, which have plagued this movie's reputation for 50 years, it actually is a seriously good movie.
It is.
And it raises a lot of interesting questions.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of themes, that we could dive into a little bit. The difference between men of the city versus men of the country.
Yeah.
Differences in this, what you call the civilized life, and their romanticizing of people who live out in the country, because I do feel like they both at the same time looked up to that lifestyle and also kind of belittled it. Basically, the movie is about, as I see it, the clash between those two different types of lifestyles and those two different types of men, and you see that clash figuratively and very physically with the anal rape.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You would think they would be more opposed to homosexuality.
Well, that's an interesting question.
You know what I mean?
Were those guys, in fact, homosexuals at
I
all?
don't even know. I get confused by this. What I find funny is, like, okay, if you had a discussion with this guy, with the two rapists, right? And you were just like, are you guys gay? I can't imagine they would be like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, we're proud of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That wouldn't happen. They'd be like, what the fuck you? What are you talking? Those are fighting words. You know what I mean? He'd probably rape you for that comment.
Yeah, that's raping talk.
Yeah, he's gonna rape you to prove to you that he's not gay. And then at the end of it, are you supposed to go, okay, fine, you're not gay?
Well, yeah, that's interesting because we don't know the psychology behind these guys. Maybe they saw that as the most masculine thing they could do to dominate another man.
I think it's domination, but still, it's weird. It's like, can't you punch him in the face? Isn't that dominating?
Well, I don't know. Ask yourself, which would make you feel worse, getting punched in the face or getting sexually held down?
Getting sexually molested, for sure. But I wouldn't come away from it thinking, that guy's not a gay guy. You know what I mean? I'd be like, well, that guy's gay, and he likes to be, he's a dominant gay.
But it brings up homophobia. Like, why would getting molested by a man be a bigger insult than getting beaten up by a man? Why would that trouble you more for the rest of your life?
Because there's no honor in it. Something deeply unhonorable or lacking honor or whatever.
So you think raping a person is a dishonorable thing to do?
Yes. Well, getting in a fight, a mutual fight where we go, we're going to duke this out, like, there's honor in that. There's respect to be paid in the, had in the process. And
well, but that's not what we saw in the movie. They had him at gunpoint from the
these were not
stepped off the
honorable
boat.
men.
So in this scenario, there's dishonor both in beating them at gunpoint and raping them at gunpoint.
Yeah.
Why is the rape the thing that would trouble you the most?
I love how we were like, well, there's the topic of rape. That's we've discussed. That's been discussed throughout the critics of Hollywood. We're getting into deeper subject matter, and then we just keep circling back on.
Well, we're discussing the rape from multiple angles.
Yeah,
It's the psychological rape.
that's true. We're taking a whole nother angle here. So
Yeah.
what was the question? I'm sorry.
What the question is, I think that a lot of men would feel that the rape is more disrespectful than a physical beating.
Yes.
But is that a sign of a homophobic feeling, or is it just the fact that being sexually violated is something that's more traumatizing than physical violence? I think that's one of the many things that this movie is kind of asking you to think about.
Yeah. Are the city folk, and this is also the 1970s, were the city folk homophobic, whereas the mountain folk were
Progressive.
progressive?
I mean, the savant, the kid.
Yeah.
Why did he take the trouble to walk over to that bridge where he knew they would come back again and, like, make his presence known to them? You think?
I don't know. I don't know what's good. That kid is weird.
Yeah.
There's no telling what he was thinking. But I think symbolically what it represented was a lack of... it was they recognized, you ain't one of us, and you're going to find out. And he fucking
So he
found
knew
out.
that stretch of the river was rape country.
He might have known that too.
Okay.
Yeah, you're about to get raped and drowned. That's what's going to happen to you. I'm calling it right now, and sure enough, that's what that boy was thinking.
Yeah. So that's at the end. That reminds me. At the end, when they're off the river, they're being kind of grilled by the sheriff and his deputy about this guy who's been missing, who is the deputy's brother-in-law, the rapist, and they have to say, "Oh no, we never saw that guy. We weren't even anywhere near where that guy would have been hunting.
Don't ever do nothing like this again. Don't come back up here.
You don't have to worry about that, Sheriff.
I'd kind of like to see this town die peaceful.
So I would have a hard time not going, yeah, he fucking raped one of us. I'm so sorry that you're missing your wonderful brother-in-law, but the guy rapes people.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
And that must be established in the town. Is this the first time he's raped? He looked like he's done it before.
Deliverance is an epic battle between civilized man and primitive man.
Yeah, and the internal struggle as well. Not
the
just
internal struggle.
It's between our own primitive selves and our own, civilized selves.
Yeah.
Do
we want to live a comfortable lifestyle, working a 9-to-5 job in an office, playing golf on the weekends, or do we want to live a primitive life, fighting the rapids, sleeping under the stars, shooting our own meat with bows and arrows, occasionally getting raped? Or you could go to work every day, and in a way that's like a rape.
Yeah, you get raped by your boss.
Raped by your boring 40-hour work week.
Yeah.
Well, there were multiple layers to this movie, and any way you slice it, I say, for my money, Deliverance is a true man movie.
I agree. The sex scene was just two men. That's how you know it's a man movie.
Right. What's more manly than
that?
Than two men knowing each other carnally?
Embracing each other, staring in each other's eyes.
There again with the homophobia. You and your big city homophobia. You missed the point.
We can learn something from the small townsfolk.
Yes, we can.
And
maybe we will.
Maybe.
But for now, this has been Man Movie.
I don't want you coming back here.
And he don't want you boys coming back here doing anything like this again.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this town die peaceful.
I like that line. You don't have to worry about it. We won't be back.